Tell me, do you see this red line right here? This is the second to last thing we're going to cover in the video today. This is the line that will determine whether or not this area right here ends up being the first lower high since Bitcoin's dipped down to 20K over here, and Bitcoin has maintained an uptrend the entire time, and this is potentially going to be the first lower high. So the main question is here today that we're going to try to answer: how can we tell, and what and when will we be looking at when we determine there's an insane edge to the upside, which there already is a probable edge that continuation will happen? Daily trend maintained intact, even though it almost took it out. I'm going to show you how to make that line so you can put it on your own charts. But at the very end, I'm going to give you one more tool, because since I slept only 4 hours 45 minutes last night, waking up at 4:45 a.m. and I couldn't fall back asleep, I was digging in the charts. I found out what the algorithms of quant firms or countries, trading desks, whoever is, the biggest baller in the room at that time. But there are one or two firms coordinated on the low time frame since April 10th that are, their algos are specifically looking at and staying above something extremely specific. And I'm going to give it to you at the end, but I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to use it. However, in general, I'm going to use it in conjunction with this red line in order to tell, should I begin being interested in a trend reversal trade in which I'm zoomed in on the micro time frames. I do a high leverage trade, but that's one that could let me hold a short for an extended period of time, as opposed to taking profit within 1 to 2% on Bitcoin, since it's just kind of a choppy mess right now in this bear market. That is my play, but as of now, it is more probable for Bitcoin to get continuation all the way up to the top of this channel. Depending on how long it gets there, it could be 32K. If it goes really fast, it could be 33 if it takes its time. If it takes until September, it would be right at August. If it took till August, it would be 40K, and the origin line rules, new viewers, that might not make sense, I know, but everybody else, origin line rules still won't be broken if 40K's hit, as long as it takes until August. So at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 2 secret sauces, but the ultimate secret sauce, I'm not going to tell you how I use that hammer. I'm simply going to tell you what the hammer looks like, and you can use it on your chart as well. Are you ready? Let's go get some darn Bitcoin. I'm going to zoom into this roughly 6.5 month channel since the 15.5 lows in November, essentially the ultimate low as of now, down here. All right. It's the same channel from the current bottom, and it is honestly about a 50-50 shot that the bottom is in on Bitcoin. It might be a little higher at this point. And I was one who, until the massive rally from 20K, I was thinking it's probably a 60-40 that the bottom's not in, but since it's maintained right here, I think it's about half right now, 50-50. But I don't care. I just need Bitcoin to move to make money. I don't care which direction. I honestly don't, because I can trade it either direction and be profitable as long as it moves and doesn't just go 0.3% and pull back 0.28, which is what it's been doing for the last day or so. Pretty much nothing to do in the last day. All right, now we're zoomed in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to let you know that from current time, so today is Saturday, April 29th. This is about 15 days ago. The 31K top, I had all these lines here before that happened. And my community knows whenever they see triangles, that's when it usually is, even though trend is up or a triangle down, even though trend is down, usually you take a reversal type of trade, not a full-on reversal, but a micro reversal, because you usually can sneak your stop and profit for the chance of it to really go down a lot more, right? Oh yeah, here's another one. Look at that. And did that work? Hell yeah, that was the best trade of the week. So even though the trend is up for a while, the absolute best trade was down. It was fast, and it only lasted an hour, and profit would have been very, very, very fast. So it's odd that the trend is up, but the absolute best trade, actually best 2 trades of the last 2 weeks, has been a downside trade. Isn't that weird? All right. That's why I'm not hesitant to try to do a counter, to try to catch a lower high here. But it's going to be hard, and I'm not going to tell you exactly how I'm planning on doing it, but I have figured it out. If it ends up being a lower high, I know exactly how to enter it. But it might take a week or 2 It's going to take a while to hunt this out. So let's dive in. I'm going to show you how you might consider setting up your chart, or like I have a tab open with a clean chart on a different exchange. Because if you don't change the exchange, as you can see, it said, well, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. You can see it says Bitstamp over there. And this one over here says the best chart. So this is the best Bitcoin chart by a mile, is the index chart. So the index chart is the one I use most for showing everybody else how to view price, right? And it's honestly good for myself. I like this chart a lot. Simplicity and beauty is honestly like, and I have the prettiest charts out of all crypto YouTubers. Like that is, I don't think you can argue that. But you know, that doesn't make me better than them. It just, my charts are prettier, and I think it's helpful for the viewers. And I have a lot of practice trying to make my charts pretty, so that's easier to understand, particularly for new viewers, because I get a lot of newer viewers on my channel who are new to understanding price. Okay, now, so pretty charts doesn't equate to beautiful TA, but I'll leave new viewers, you can decide. And if I have returning viewers, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know, let them know what you think about and what about my TA and why you continue to watch my videos. Okay, so this is my strong suggestion to you. Take a look. Well, it's supposed to say monthly and all that stuff over here. What are you doing? There we go. It just magically appeared. Okay. The weekly candle is going to close this Sunday, the 30th, the last day of the month. That means the monthly also closes. I believe the quarterly also closes. They're all closing green. The weekly candle, because price is up here, is the biggest one. Does that make sense? And I know that the weekly candle is green, although over here it says I'm on the 1 hour chart. Because why? Because price is above it. So if it's above the line, then that candle's green, right? It's that simple. I don't need to go to the weekly. I can be on the 15-second chart. Let's actually do that. 15-second chart, and I can see price way up there, right? And this way down here, and I know the quarterly is green, okay? And so, but I also know that when I start getting the 4 hour red and the daily red, and I've seen a rejection here, that means the chance for a daily trend reversal begins getting a little bit better. It still won't be probable. It still would not be probable. However, the chances of that begin to become better, right? And also, outside of trying to get a trend reversal, and again, by the nature of trading a trend reversal, you don't have an edge. Because the moment you have an edge, that means the trend is already confirmed the other way and you haven't traded a trend reversal, right? So they're very high risk stuff, and that's not my common trade. I don't typically trade trend reversals because you never have an edge, but this one could be juicy. So I'm going to attempt. That's why you hit like and subscribe. And for current subscribers who have already subscribed, make sure that bell is hit, because I'm going to want to give you time-sensitive information in a time-sensitive manner, and I cannot help you with that unless the bell is hit. And for new viewers, don't hit like or even subscribe yet until the point where you say, hey, I just learned something, because I will probably get to that point and where you do that. And if you do hit the subscribe because you learned something here, go ahead and let me know in the comment what it was, because I would be interested, like sincerely, and I'll probably respond to it. Okay. I can't get better unless you tell me how I can get better, right? Even if it's negative criticism, that is perfectly fine, as long as you're not a dork about it. Okay, so right now, honestly, there's really absolutely no reason to be short, as you can see. The only candle that's red out of all candles, even the quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, everything, it's just the 1 hour, right? Hell, not even the 5-minute candle's red, it's green. I'm on the 5-minute chart. So being short's kind of silly. There's absolutely no reason to think there's going to be a trend reversal, right? Outside of the posturing, and this just looks really good. So I know that my chances, or the chances, of a trend reversal are pretty much nil until the daily is both, has been used as resistance, and it might be the next day. Maybe the next day's candle is up here, and then I get that same rejection pattern. It doesn't matter. Even if this all goes higher and I move the lines up, it'll still it will still be the same type of play unless it gets above that red line. Unless it gets above that red line. So I strongly suggest that you have a clean chart that is not the main one you use, so you can take off all drawing tools, have bare naked price, and have this on, because when they start telescoping in all green or they start telescoping, so let's say price goes under this like it is now, and then the next 4-hour candle starts and it starts down here, if this lets me, and that means this turns red, for example, and you can see the telescoping fashion of, and it shows you momentum. And then maybe the 1 hour at that exact time would also be the 4 hour, so you'd have it like this, and then the daily turns red. And then you all have it in the opposite order, and then you know, oh wait, where's it likely gonna go? Why does it keep disappearing? I don't understand. The bigger ones keep going away. That's the second time. You saw that happen, right? And now they're there. Wow, I don't know why this happens. Oh my goodness, trading view. Right. You're affecting my viewer experience in a negative way. All right, here we go. So, but where could you assume if that starts playing out and you see, oh, it's turning red, like everything's going the other way, as opposed to, when I say telescoping, you know how you might get a metal back scratcher that you can like collapse and extend, or even an umbrella that extends, that telescoping, or just an old telescope that you can smash down and go, or how camera lenses go, right? When you see it go the other way, you can just look at this. And so you're not getting fooled by your own indicators, this and that. This tells you what big money's actually looking at. So if they look at the big closures, so if this can be like your backstop or a layer 2 on top of your current TA. This doesn't have to be your TA. It's just essentially helping yourself see what's real. I strongly suggest you get into this habit and put it on a different chart on a new tab or whatever, or not a new tab, maybe you're on your phone, but just have a couple of different exchanges with Bitcoin, on there, and flip between them or among them, depending on how much. I have 3 that I switch among, right? And so if they start telescoping, then maybe my indicators are saying, oh, it's a bullish cross, but actually they're all telescoping down. So actually you're probably gonna get, close to a 2.6 pullback to probably want to bounce off this line. And if we zoom in, we can say, okay, if that were to happen, does that make sense in the context of higher lows and all that kind of stuff? Which this move here kind of ruins that. Usually it's about like this. So you would go like here, boom. So what would happen, in this case, if it came all the way down? Well, it would probably even if it made higher highs to this, it would probably use that previous support as resistance to make a higher high, and you would have your target. So there are all sorts of ways to do this. And I don't want to beg you, but damn, this could drastically change for the better the way you view price. All right, so let me try to get all of my daily and 4 hour and all that stuff back to the way it was. Maybe. Pretty sure the daily is not red. Let's go look. I couldn't get it to flip back. Oh, no, it did flip back, just the color did not flip. All right, and I'll get rid of those annoying like and subscribe stuff here in just a second. There we go. All right, you won't see that anymore. That's step 1. Now we're gonna go back to the sexy chart. It's the sexiest chart, Bitcoin chart that you're gonna see, no matter how long you search. All right, but I have a lot of practice doing this. This is like after 5.5 years of dealing with Bitcoin price and charts, and having an entire community teach me all their tricks that they as individuals know, and then me, I just accumulate all of them, and I don't know, I'm able to do this. Okay, now, price specifically came down to tinker with people at this daily open. So I'll have to go to the daily line so you can see what has just happened and what big money's trying to do to trick you. There was a moment, so this is the low right here of the daily trend, okay? So it's at the closure, it is not at the wick. It is not at the wick, it is at the closure. I cannot stress that enough. The daily trend is established by the lowest of that higher low, which is here, by the lowest candle body, not the wick. So you can see that for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, even the 6th day, it came to touch this line. So this is going to be the base of something, right? I mean, it already is. And if we go to Monday, April 24th, this red candle, the only one that wicked way below it, Monday, April 24th, it was a clear fake out. They were trying to trick everybody. I'm going to go to the 3-minute chart so you can see how this happened. Watch. Look. Monday, April 24th. The day closes at 1800 hours. Exactly, I will mark it off. That is the daily closure. So the candle ended right exactly there. And if I went back to the daily, that's where it would be. Exactly to the dot, right? It's neat. So maybe you learned something there, new viewers. I don't know. But it's not that important to do this, but just for visuals. So measure back 5 hours before the daily closure. Not only was the day very red and kind of long, medium long and red with no wick at the bottom, it looked like it was going to fall off a cliff, right? But in the nick of time, it came up and closed the day up here to save the daily trend. And it did something similar back earlier at 4 a.m. in the morning when Hong Kong was probably trading their Monday stuff. Hong Kong algos did it, and then American algos did it at about 1 p.m. The same type of play, different part of the world. You see that? So you just realize that the big bad days were picking up their longs here, and they were the ones selling Bitcoin on spot so that their already present long orders on futures, which is a totally different market. They are literally casino chips. It's not real Bitcoin. Futures isn't the real asset. So they sold the real asset to run into their orders onto probably an extraordinarily low leverage with high equity, probably 2 or 3x, because that's how big money trades typically. I would assume they do. At least Warren Buffett and people like that do, which is smarter. Hell, if I had $10 million, I would never use more. I might not even use leverage at all, if you have enough equity. But they're running. They're selling Bitcoin on spot to run it into their longs here. So Hong Kong or China, Japan, and all them did it, and then Americans did it. So and then it just goes right up after the longs were in place. Okay, but the reason why they needed to bait people. So the trend, actually, the daily trend was like over here. So it was going under the trend line, trying to get other people to short. Because for $1 of short, if you want to long for $1, you have to have somebody willing to long. I mean, if you're going to go $1 long, you have to have somebody willing to go $1 short at the exact same moment. So the bigger money, they have more money than us. They need to bait us idiots to go the wrong way because they can't go the right way if we don't go the wrong way. Does that make sense? You can't do it. If they wanted to accumulate $80 million of longs on futures, there has to be $80 million of shorts, and if there aren't, they will bait people until retail and just YouTubers or whoever are telling their crew, we're going short across the world. So that's the scope of what's happening down there at the bottom of the daily trend. Right? Any new viewers, have you hit subscribe yet? Like, hopefully I've achieved it by now, but if not, then I got more. I'm not done yet. Like, these sleeves are freaking long, yo. I got stuff up my sleeves. Even though after losing 42 pounds and gained maybe 4 pounds back so far, what's left of my guns, there's some guns up in these sleeves. All right, so here we go. Now, remember, I want you to look at the daily, though. Now, let's just look at the daily and just understand what's happening. What is at stake? What was at stake down here was, are we going to turn into a no trend on the daily? It wouldn't have turned into a downtrend had a candle closed under there. It would have been a no trend because you have a higher high and a lower low. You have to have one of each in the same direction to have a trend. So what was at stake was the trend. The trend was at stake. Right now, the trend is not necessarily at stake until you maybe have a couple red closures. This is not a confirmed local top high yet. Like, not even close. Hell, you could even have a pullback like this and it just goes bam. Like, the trend is technically fine because as long as it kind of slides this way, it's not really a high. As long as it descends. And so now we're going to start looking at these candles. Are we seeing a lot of smooshed candles at this red line? All right, so now let's go to something like the 4 hour. Huh, those candles look awfully small, don't they? Those 2 hour candles look awfully small, don't they? Those 1 hour candles look awfully small. So the last couple days, there's been absolutely freaking nothing to do. You can't trade 1% volatility. I mean, that's 1.2. Like, there's nothing to do right now. Unless you're in a profitable long, I personally wouldn't bail. But it's not the time to enter shorts, and it's not the time to add to, or it's not the time to enter long. It's not the time to enter anything yet. Unless. All right, the camera started working again. I had to smush 2 videos together. My camera turned off for some reason. I think I hit my desk too hard. All right, here we go. The candles are looking small. So remember, what was at stake here was the daily trend. Small, unvolatile candles, nothing to do, because what happened? There needed to be some trigger or an event that got the different algos, because it's not people trading this that are moving price. People are trading Bitcoin. People aren't trading alts on futures. I'll tell you that. It's all the exchanges. But mostly, the 90+% of all trading volume that is actually real. So actually, more than half of all trading volume is not real, but it's from the exchanges. That's already been confirmed, like by multiple sources on different countries. But among the real trading volume, over 90% is already confirmed as algos. It's not people. Okay, people program the algos, so you have to think like somebody who's programmed something. So the program down here is saying, what is at stake? The daily trend. Because if we break it, we might be trading against other firms with a lot of money. So let's wait, holding pattern, a lot is at stake. We can't move the market unless other people trade with us. Therefore, we have to wait for a trigger in a robot voice. This is how algos sound, obviously, if you did not know. Did you learn something? That's how algos sound when they talk. So you have to hit subscribe, new viewers. You didn't know that. Okay, so now what is at stake here? Potential for the first lower high to break the trend into a no trend. Because if this pulls back again like this, but closes a day down here, so this happened intraday, then it popped right back up. The daily's fine. It was just a wick on a candle. This all happened in exactly 1 hour. Look, this is one 1 hour candle, then straight back up. Right? So the day looks fine. But now we can see holding pattern, something's at stake, holding pattern, something's at stake. All right, so now that's why there's nothing to do, because they need something to trigger it so they can feel they can all have an edge. There's no edge. There's no edge for anything right now. Are we making sense? So the daily trend is what's at stake, and each time it's been at stake because this is the absolute perfect area for a lower high. As we do on my channel, you just use the projector tool, kind of connect some dots there, and boom, that's the general area that a lower high always forms in crypto every time. Every time. And it's usually the exact same angle as multiple intra wicks. And if you extend it, it's the same slope. And all these down here, all the tops and bottoms, the same slope. That's for another day and time though. And you can join the community if you want to ask me specifically about that. That's I use slope lines quite a bit when I'm actually trading on a dirtier chart. That's not for everybody to look at. Okay. Now this line, I'm connecting it to the high of Wednesday, April 26th, and Thursday, April 27th. The reason I have it a rotated rectangle is because oftentimes the wicks are not perfectly aligned. And so you can see how this wick here perfectly hit the bottom, this wick here perfectly hit the top. These two are in the middle. So it has room. It's not just one line, I'm telling you. It can actually live up here on the 1 minute chart. And if you were to go to the 1 minute, I mean, honestly, I could just go to the 1 minute. Actually, let's go. So let me leave that blue thing there so you can see that. And when we go to the 1 minute, it'll like the blue thing will be like this, like way bigger, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. That's the 3 minute, 1 minute. Zoom way out. There we go. And this, I've already covered how we shorted this, but so it lives in there. It's not just the line, I'm telling you. It's like a mini house. It's like a fun size house or something. Okay, so do a rotated rectangle. All right, and actually I don't have it perfect. I need that to align with that wick, and there it's actually a little It's actually a little thinner. I didn't have it I obviously drew this on larger than the 1 minute. It's not perfect. I want it perfect. So actually, these two wicks are what get it. On Thursday, April 27th. Boom and boom. So it will probably live in here for a few minutes. So how long did it live in here this time? 31 minutes. Okay, so you have time. You don't have to guess whether or not it's going to break up or not. Just wait to see if it breaks out or if it comes back down. That's it. You can wait. You don't have to guess. Just wait. And that was the theme of my last free public YouTube video. You don't have to just guess. I'm telling you, I just proved it to you. You had 30 minutes to figure it out. Plenty of time. You could set an alert once it hits. You might have to move your alert because every day it's actually going down a little bit. So today my alert could be roughly here. Tomorrow I'd have to move it down or whatever because the price is changing, right? So that's the first thing to determine. Is this general area going to be a lower high to the 31K high where it hit my box perfectly, the box that and everything I had there for months and months prior. And it hit it to the 0.1 of 1% perfectly. All right. Which it usually works like that because trading channels, that's what the algos are looking at, and that's why I use them. All right. Or it correctly represents what the algos are looking at. I honestly don't know which one that is, but it is one of those two. All right, now here we go. Now let me zoom out off the freaking 1 minute chart here. You don't need the 1 minute chart because there's nothing to do on the low time frames. There's absolutely nothing to do. There's no entry, no nothing. Now, the secret sauce. So for this red line, if it goes above it, even down here, even lower price, okay, it will break out and make a higher high. That is how it works. There is a small chance that it breaks out and doesn't make a higher local high, but it's a daily uptrend that just got everybody agreed, yes, we're keeping a daily uptrend. So if it breaks above that line, they also agree, no, this is not the first lower high. That is how it will work with an extremely high likelihood. That's why I'm trying to give you this information for totally free. Price moves a very specific way, unless it's FOMC, as those are the bankers' algos. Oh my gosh. As they drive down Dixie on purpose versus, the euro and everything, so they can drive up markets, and then it all comes back in the middle around 2 p.m. So the banking algos, you don't want to try to trade those. You can't. Those are not for people to trade. But the crypto algos that run crypto all the time, those are pretty regular stuff. Okay, so the decision has not been made yet. But how can we tell when the decision has been made? Because that's going to be a little harder. You're honestly going to have, you can't tell when it's been made until it's already too late and it's already confirmed no trend. So how can you tell when the edge begins to be in your favor that this is a lower high? I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to use it, but I'm going to you just use what I'm about to tell you with basic support and resistance and in conjunction with this line. Okay, so if it's something like this, if it's above it, generally good, it'll probably break up. But if price goes below what I'm about to show you and it hasn't gotten above this at the same time, then it's going to have to pull back somewhere before attempting again, and then it could go up. But there will be a tradable event to the downside where you can put your stop and move it down in profit, and then if it breaks out, thank you for collecting my cash on a short, even though it's an uptrend, right? But moving your stop down, if it keeps smashing to the bottom of the channel, you'll be able to walk your stops for 2 weeks because it won't get to the bottom of this channel in a day or two. It'll take at least a week. Even with the flash crash, it would take several days. It would take 3 days at least with the flash crash. Oop, I just moved my box. All right, there we go. So the magic line that I'm not going to tell you how to use, but I think that's roughly what I drew. I would strongly recommend you use what is called an MTF EMA, and you just click indicators. See that up there, sort of, maybe? Indicators. If your screen is smushed because you're using a phone or a laptop, it might only have that sign up there. It looks like bars with a squiggly line. It's essentially an EMA over candlesticks. Like indicators, type in MTF. I'm not going to tell you which one to use. Just, you're going to have to, actually, I know I made it not free anymore. But for everybody else in the community, just look at how to set up your chart and it'll teach you how to set up indicators. All right, MTF EMA. So I'm going to use an MTF EMA that is specifically, and it's a weird one, I'm going to use the 5 minute 480. I told, like, I didn't sleep more than 4.75 hours. I'll make it white for you so it stands out in the dark background. I typically don't like white EMAs or anything white on my chart, but so since April 10th, this is what they're looking at, period. Okay, and this got this drop absolutely perfectly. All right, so let's zoom into the 3 minute chart, and so MTF means multi-time frame. No matter what time frame I'm on, it remains the 5 minute 480, as opposed to if I go to the weekly, then it's the weekly 480. All right, so look, the decision. Remember what's at stake, right? Well, the decision was made right there when that became used as support. When it came above it, did it use it as support? No, because no decision was made. When it came above it, did it use it as support? No, because no decision was made, because what was at stake. So once the decision was made, what did it do? It finally got above, and the big and that I always go on my channel, getting above something, a resistance doesn't count. It's usually just people adding to their shorts, unless it's at a low posturing. And support, and then what? Boom, to the heavens. The very first time over all of these days, or actually, how long was it? Yeah, 4 days, never used it as support once. Look, not a single time. Look, boom, through it, boom, through it. Here, let's zoom way in, watch. Look, no support at all. Samurai sword, rejection. And if you're not hitting subscribe, new viewers, at this point, because you claim to not have learned something, you're delusional. Look, not a single one. You didn't know this about this at this specific moment in time of 4 day price. Look, not a single time. Look. And then when the decision was made, because something triggered like multiple algos with big money to do the same thing, bam, made a higher low on top of it. So what do you think? And look at what it's still doing. Look at this. These are 3 minute candle wicks. Boom, 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 boom. Guess what it does every time it goes below it? Just like last time, every time it went above, it didn't use it as support. Every time it goes below it, it doesn't use it as resistance. Look, it came below it. That's way below it. But when it touched it, it blew past it. When it touched it, it blew past it. Look. Look. I'm telling you. Blew past it. Tiny hesitation. That barely. That's a 3 minute candle. So that technically is a rejection now. All right, but blew past it mostly. Blew past it. Then it turned it into support. Went back below it for just damn good measure and goes kabam. So okay. All right, that's enough on that. So use that in conjunction with the red box. And I just gave you all the hints, but I'm not going to piece it together to show you the exact shape. So I already know the shape these algos will make, because it's already repeated it twice with other lines. And if you go to my previous videos, you might actually be able to piece that together. So you'd have to watch the last free video and the one before it. You can watch it on 2x speed until you see me draw stuff, and that's the shape this will make. But it's going to make one of two very specific shapes specifically on this line, only in the event that this ends up being the lower high. Or, no. Yeah, only in the event this ends up being a lower high. But even when that happens, it's still possible it just pulls back to something lower and blasts through it again. It's possible because it's a daily trend. The edge only begins to get a slightly bit better. Actually, there is no edge that this is a reversal area yet. But the edge, it gets closer to becoming an edge. Maybe where you begin being interested in the idea that this was a local high or a local top, but the first lower high in the daily trend, thus breaking the daily trend. It gets closer to that 50 mark when it starts using this as resistance. So if you learned something today, let me know what it was. I'm sincerely curious. I'm on a mission to do better at what I do here. And within the community, my current mission, which honestly I'm doing a better job at than I thought, is time. How do I know the timing of when I might become interested one more time? And I'm getting highly proficient at it. So if that's something, if you spend way too much time on the charts watching price go sideways, I figured out how to not do that. And you can jump on the community and just turn on your microphone and camera and ask me a question, and I'll show you right then, right there. That would only be in Discord. But if private communities are not your thing, go ahead and hit the blue join button, and only $5 will be taken immediately. No, just the video will pop up telling you what you get, and we'll see you next time, YouTube.